Hey everyone, welcome back to the English Daily Podcast. This is your absolute favorite place for real English conversation, easy listening practice, and daily speaking development. I'm your host, John.
And I'm Sarah. Welcome back, language learners from every single corner of the world. We are so incredibly happy that you are here with us today. This is the place where you learn real English from real natural talk, not from those boring, heavy, and complicated grammar books.
That is so true, Sarah. No boring grammar rules here. Just clear, useful, everyday English that you can listen to and use immediately in your daily life. If you are making your breakfast right now, getting ready for work, sitting on a busy bus, or still hiding under your warm blanket, you are in the perfect place. And hey, if you are still under the blanket, it is completely okay. We won't tell anyone.
That's true, John. You can absolutely learn English even under your blanket. Blanket English is also good English. So, John, before we dive into our beautiful topic today, let me ask you a simple question. How are you today? How is your morning going so far?
My morning was okay, Sarah. I woke up a little late, made some quick coffee, and told myself, John, today you will be more organized. We will see if that actually happens. So a quick cup of coffee and a small promise to myself. I think many of our listeners know that exact feeling very well.
Yeah, I guess so, John. Mornings can be a strange mix of feeling sleepy, feeling busy, and feeling hopeful at the exact same time. My morning was actually a bit similar to yours. I woke up, opened my eyes, grabbed my phone to check my messages for just 1 minute, and suddenly, boom, 10 minutes disappeared into thin air.
Ah, the famous just 1 minute trap, Sarah. That single minute is extremely dangerous.
Very dangerous, John, yes. And that is actually the exact reason why today's topic is so important for everyone listening to us.
Right, Sarah, because our topic today is morning routine to improve your English. We want to talk about real, practical mornings, not those perfect, fake Instagram mornings that you see online. We want to show you how you can use your normal morning time to grow your English skills naturally.
Yes, for many language learners, the morning is just an alarm clock ringing, grabbing the phone, rushing through the house, and running to work. And then at the end of the day, you feel tired and say, I have absolutely no time for English. We want to show you a completely different way today, a small, calm routine that fits beautifully inside real life.
And before we walk into the details of that routine, Sarah, we want to share something very important about how this podcast, the English Daily Podcast, will work from now on to help our listeners even more.
Yes, John, a little new strategy for every single episode of our podcast, not only for this specific topic, but for all our future daily life and self-improvement topics.
We will always speak using clear A2 and B1 level English. We will speak at a comfortable speed, clear and simple, so you can feel completely relaxed, calm, and safe while you listen to us.
But at the exact same time, John, we will gently and carefully add a few stronger words, phrases, and useful idioms in each episode, so you can slowly touch a higher level of English without getting confused.
Exactly, Sarah. And whenever we use a stronger, more advanced word, we will pause for a second, explain it using very easy English, and give you a real sentence as an example, so you never feel lost. This way, you feel safe because the conversation is simple, but you also feel like you are gently stretching your English skills. Not too fast, not too slow.
That's right, John. It is exactly like a light stretch before you do physical exercise. You enjoy the interesting topic, and quietly in the background, your English level starts to move from B1 towards B2 naturally.
But Sarah, let's be completely honest here. Does this kind of approach really work? Just listening to simple talks with a few stronger words added in?
I strongly believe it does, John. It doesn't work like magic in just one single day, of course. It works like a slow, steady, and beautiful change.
Slow and steady. I love that, Sarah, because when something is slow and steady, it is very easy to keep doing it every day, right?
Yes, John, that is absolutely true. It is small and it is highly realistic. You don't have to change your entire life or your whole schedule. You just listen to one calm episode of the English Daily Podcast, and maybe you add a tiny bit of practice again and again. That daily rhythm is what slowly pushes you closer to fluency.
And what about vocabulary, Sarah? How does this natural method help our listeners learn and remember new words and phrases compared to old methods?
Well, John, you don't just look at a boring, dry list of translations. Instead, you hear new words inside real, living situations, like our morning topic today. So your brain remembers the word with a clear picture and a real feeling, not only a dictionary translation. It's like your brain says, this specific phrase belongs to this exact moment in life. And that makes it 10 times easier to use later when you want to speak.
That's it, Sarah. And when you take that new word and make your own simple sentence with it, your English brain gets a wonderful little workout. Not a heavy, stressful workout, just a gentle exercise that makes your communication skills much stronger over time. So because of this, we have a small challenge for all of you in every single episode now, including this one.
Yeah. While you are listening to John and me talk today, try to actively notice just one new word, phrase, or idiom that you really like.
It could be a single word that feels a bit new to your ears, or a phrase you don't normally use when you speak, but you can understand it completely from the context of our conversation.
And at the very end of the episode, ask yourself this question. What new word or phrase did I really learn from today's conversation with John and Sara?
Yeah, that is a great question to ask yourself, Sarah. Then be bold enough, be brave enough to make one simple, short sentence using that new word or phrase. You can say it out loud in your room, or you can write it down in your personal notebook.
And if you feel extra brave, you can write your sentence in the comments section below this video. When you do that, your English brain gets a real practical workout, like a tiny, beautiful gym session for your vocabulary and your confidence.
And Sarah and I absolutely love reading your sentences in the comments. We really do. We see your amazing progress, we feel your energy, and other language learners can look at your examples and learn from them too.
Exactly, John. It helps the whole community. And if you enjoy this calm way of learning English through daily life topics, with a few stronger phrases and a small daily challenge, please don't forget to like this episode right now, subscribe to the English Daily Podcast, and maybe share it with a friend who is also trying to improve.
Yes, your wonderful support helps our little podcast grow big and helps more language learners around the world enjoy English in a relaxed, stress-free way. Okay, now that you know our style and our little level up plan, let's come back to today's main topic, morning routine to improve your English. We will look at a completely normal morning, alarm, phone, coffee, rushing, and see exactly where we can quietly add a bit of English without adding any stress to your life.
So take a deep breath, get comfortable, maybe hold your hot tea or coffee in your hands, and come with us into your morning. John, let's start with a very simple question. Why are we talking so much about the morning? Why not talk about the evening or lunchtime? Why is the morning so special?
For me, Sarah, the morning is like a completely blank page in a clean notebook. Nothing is written on it yet. Your mind is fresh after sleep, the world around you is still a little bit quiet, and your phone hasn't started screaming with 20 different notifications from work or social media.
Yeah, I love that picture, John. It feels like the entire city is still stretching and slowly waking up. There are fewer messages, fewer emails, and fewer people asking for your direct attention. You finally have a beautiful, quiet moment where nobody is really disturbing you or your thoughts.
Exactly, Sarah. And the specific way you use that blank page in the morning can really set the tone for your day.
Oh, let's pause there, John. That is our first stronger phrase for today. Set the tone for your day. What does that mean exactly? Let's explain it to our listeners.
When we say set the tone for your day, we mean that the very first minutes of your morning decide the overall feeling and emotion of your entire day. It is exactly like choosing the very first song in a music playlist. If you start your morning playlist with a loud, angry, stressful song, the whole day feels loud, noisy, and stressed.
Ah, that makes so much sense, John. But if you start your playlist with something calm, peaceful, and meaningful, like a tiny English routine, the entire day feels completely different. It feels organized and calm. And if you do this again and again every single morning, it doesn't only help your English level, it can quietly change your whole life too. John, do you know any real stories where a simple morning routine completely changed someone's English?
Yes, Sarah, I absolutely do. I immediately think of a wonderful listener named Sarah, with an H at the end, who wrote a beautiful email to us last month. She works in customer support for a large online company. Her job is very stressful. She finishes work very late, and by the time she gets back home to her apartment, she is completely exhausted.
Right, so her evenings are completely full. A tired body, family responsibilities, dinner, and maybe some mindless scrolling on social media. No real mental space or energy left for studying English.
Exactly, Sarah. She told us in her email that every single night she sat on her sofa and promised herself, I will study English later tonight before bed. But guess what? Later never came because she was just too tired. She felt incredibly guilty every night, and honestly, she felt a bit overwhelmed.
Oh, overwhelmed is another great word, John. Let's explain it. Feeling overwhelmed is when your brain feels like it has too many browser tabs open at the same time. You have a work tab open, a family tab open, a money tab open, a messages tab open, and then you try to open a heavy English grammar tab, and boom, the whole computer crashes. Your brain just stops working.
That is the perfect explanation of overwhelmed, Sarah. That was exactly how Sarah felt. But one day she stopped and said, okay, my evenings are pure chaos, so I am going to stop trying to study at night. Instead, I will give my quiet mornings to my English journey.
Interesting. So what did she actually change, John? Did she start studying for 2 hours every morning?
No, not at all, Sarah. She didn't start with some massive, impossible plan. She kept it very small. She simply set her morning alarm clock 15 minutes earlier than usual, just 15 minutes. Then, when she got on the train to go to her work, she put on her headphones and listened to a short English podcast, instead of scrolling through her social media feed.
Wow, the same train, the same journey, the same time, just a completely different choice.
Exactly, Sarah. And after doing that for a week, she added just one more tiny thing. When she got off the train and walked to a cafe near her office, she had 5 minutes before work started. She opened the Notes app on her smartphone and wrote 3 simple, short sentences in English about her plans for the day or how she felt. So that daily train commute became her personal little English classroom.
I love that so much, John. No fancy desk, no expensive private teacher, no perfect leather notebook. Just a simple seat by the train window, some cheap headphones, and a small, honest promise to herself.
Exactly, Sarah. She was being much more intentional with her morning time.
Oh, intentional. That is a beautiful word, John. Let's break it down for our A2 and B1 learners. When we say someone is being intentional, it means they are doing things on purpose, with a clear reason, not just by accident or old habit. Sarah wasn't just moving through her morning on autopilot like a robot. She actively chose English instead of endless, mindless scrolling. Did she feel a big change in her fluency?
Not in one single day, Sarah, of course not. But little by little, week after week, she noticed something amazing. When she was at work, she could answer English-speaking customers much more smoothly. Her mind didn't freeze anymore. When a customer spoke fast, she didn't panic. She felt calm.
Wow,
Little by little is exactly like building a strong brick wall, John. You don't see a massive change when you put down just one single brick today, but after a few months of adding small bricks every morning, you look back, open your eyes, and think, wow, look at this beautiful wall I built.
That is exactly how it felt for her, Sarah. Small steps truly add up when you repeat them every single morning.
Yes, small steps add up is a wonderful idiom. It means that many tiny, simple actions, when you put them together over weeks, months, and years, become something absolutely massive. You don't need to have the exact same job as Sarah, and you don't need to ride the same train. But every single person listening to us today can take her brilliant idea. You can choose just one tiny part of your morning and call it your personal English time.
Let's talk about why this morning routine matters so deeply, Sarah. The morning is not just about time or minutes. It is about the specific version of you that wakes up. If you wake up, immediately grab your phone and stay in bed for 30 minutes scrolling through negative news or random videos, that exact lazy, distracted feeling follows you like a shadow. It follows you into your school, into your work, and even into your evening dreams.
Oh, that is so true, John. It is exactly like starting your day by eating junk food for breakfast. You can still survive the day, you can still walk and talk, but your body doesn't feel great. You feel heavy and sluggish. But when you wake up and do just one small positive thing with discipline and purpose, like spending 5 minutes with English, that clean, focused energy travels with you all day long.
Exactly, Sarah. It is like putting a small but incredibly strong battery inside your day. It is not a huge battery, but it keeps your engine running smoothly. That is why mornings are so uniquely powerful. They're a quiet, secret chance to decide, who am I going to be today? Am I going to be the lazy, distracted version of myself, or am I going to be the version that moves a little bit closer to my future goals?
Beautifully said, John. So, if someone is listening to us right now and thinking, I truly love this idea, John and Sarah, but what do I actually need to do tomorrow morning? How can we keep it very simple for them?
We can keep it super simple, Sarah. Think of a healthy morning routine like a small, nutritious breakfast for your English. A good breakfast doesn't have to be massive. It can have 4 simple bites: listen, speak, write, and review. We don't need a giant plate, just a few delicious bites.
I love that metaphor, John. A small breakfast for your English. So let's talk about the very first bite. What is step one?
Step 1, the first bite, is simple. Listen in English. We already know the natural bad habit of most people. The alarm rings, you unlock your phone, you open a social media app, and suddenly 15 minutes of your life are gone forever.
Instead, imagine this different scenario. You put your phone on the kitchen table, you boil your water, you make your coffee, your tea, and you just press play on a calm, easy English podcast, like the English Daily Podcast. It's the exact same phone, the exact same morning, just a completely different button.
Yes, and in the morning, your brain is exactly like a completely clean, dry sponge. It hasn't touched the dirty, muddy water of daily stress, problems, or work complaints yet. Whatever you put first into that clean sponge, your brain will soak it in deeply and hold on to it.
So true, John. If the very first thing you put into that sponge is real English, a nice story, a natural conversation, or something motivational, your brain will capture it and hold it much better than at the end of a long, exhausting workday. And remember, everyone, it does not have to be a big, formal study session at a desk. You can listen while you're brushing your teeth, while you're washing your face, or while you're preparing your eggs. That's what John and I mean when we say this routine is highly realistic. It fits perfectly inside the life you already live.
Exactly, Sarah. Realistic means you don't need a perfectly quiet university library and 2 free hours. You just use the beautiful, messy life you already have right now. Now, once your ears are awake and listening, it is time for step 2. Speak out loud. Wake up your mouth.
Oh, this is a big one, John. So many English learners tell us, Sarah, I can read English books easily. I can understand English movies completely when I listen. But when I have to open my mouth and speak to a real human being, my brain completely stops. It freezes.
I hear that every day, Sarah, and you know why that happens? It is because they watch other people speak English every day, but they never move their own mouth muscles. It is exactly like watching people exercise at the gym every day on YouTube, but you never lift a weight yourself. Of course, your physical muscles will feel stiff and weak when you finally try to run.
Exactly, John. Your mouth has muscles too, and they need exercise. The morning can be your private, safe little gym session for your mouth. After you finish listening to a short podcast episode, simply repeat a few sentences that you heard, or just talk to yourself in English for 2 quick minutes.
Yes, you can look out the window and quietly say to yourself, okay, how do I feel today? What is the weather like? What do I need to do at work today? What is one small thing I am grateful for this morning? When you speak like that, you are not just memorizing vocabulary words, Sarah. You are actively building your speaking confidence. Your tongue, your lips, and your jaw start to remember the physical shapes of English words naturally, just like they remember the lyrics to your favorite song.
And the most beautiful thing about doing this in the morning, John, is that nobody is watching you, nobody is listening to you, and absolutely nobody is judging your grammar or your accent. It's just you, your voice, maybe your bathroom mirror, and your toothbrush.
Exactly, Sarah. It is a 100% safe space to use your voice, play with sounds, and make as many mistakes as you want. No stress at all. And after your voice is awake, we can move to step 3 to wake up your thoughts. Write in English.
I love this step, John. I like to think of morning writing as cleaning your mental desk. When you wake up, all your thoughts, worries, and plans are like loose papers flying everywhere around your bedroom. When you sit down and write them down, you put those papers into clean, organized folders.
That is a great analogy, Sarah. In the morning, you can write a tiny paragraph, just 3 or 4 simple sentences in a small notebook. Write about your simple plans for the day, your big dreams for the future, or just how your body feels right now. And please listen to us clearly. You do not have to worry about perfect grammar or beautiful spelling here. The only goal of this step is to force your brain to think directly in English, not to impress a school teacher.
Yes, John, this kind of writing is incredibly mindful.
Oh, mindful. That is another strong, wonderful word, Sarah. Let's explain it to our listeners. What does it mean to be mindful in the morning?
Being mindful means you are fully awake and present inside your own body. You are actively noticing your thoughts, your breathing, and your choices, instead of letting your emotions push you around like a leaf in the wind. When you write a few sentences in the morning, you stop the rush, you take a breath, and you ask yourself, what is happening inside my mind right now? It makes you feel incredibly refreshed.
Yes, refreshed. That's that beautiful feeling when your brain takes a deep breath and says, I can finally breathe clearly again. It's like opening a wide window in a crowded hot room to let the cool air come in.
Exactly, John. And to keep your English fresh, alive, and growing every day, you have to water it regularly. That brings us to our fourth and final bite of our English breakfast. Review what you learned. Learning new things without ever reviewing them is exactly like buying beautiful new green plants every single day, placing them in your garden, but never giving them a single drop of water. The new plants look very exciting on day 1, but they will die quickly.
Wow, that is so true, Sarah. So many students are obsessed with finding new lists of words every day, but they forget everything they learned last week. In the morning, you can take just 5 short minutes to look at your notebook from yesterday. Look at that one phrase or that one idiom you liked. Read it again. Say it aloud one more time. That is how you become truly consistent.
Yes, consistent is a key word for success, John. Consistent doesn't mean you are a perfect superhero who never makes a mistake. Being consistent simply means you build a steady, reliable rhythm. Just like brushing your teeth, You don't brush your teeth for 5 hours straight on Sunday morning and then say, okay, I am done for the week. No, you brush them for 2 short minutes every single day, morning and night. With English, it is the exact same thing. True fluency comes from touching the language for 10 minutes every morning, not from studying for 4 hours once a month until your brain hurts.
Exactly, Sarah. And when you build that beautiful daily rhythm, English stops feeling like an overwhelming, scary mountain. It quietly becomes a normal, calm, and natural part of your daily life. Now, maybe a small negative voice inside your head is saying right now, "This all sounds wonderful, John and Sarah, but I honestly have no time in the morning. I have 2 young children to feed. I have a long commute to work. I work night shifts. My life is too busy." And we want to say to you, we truly, deeply understand you. Life can be incredibly hard and busy.
Yes, we really do understand, dear listeners. But sometimes when we say, I don't have time, what we actually mean deep down is my time is already completely full of small automatic habits that I never chose on purpose.
Wow, Sarah, that is a very profound thought. Let's think about it. Maybe realistically, you cannot wake up 1 full hour earlier tomorrow morning. That is completely okay. That might not be realistic for your life right now. But maybe, just maybe, you can change how you use 15 minutes of your morning. You can keep drinking the exact same coffee, but you change what you listen to while drinking it. You ride the exact same bus, but you change what your eyes look at on that bus. When something is truly important to us, we naturally find the time for it. We find time to watch our favorite series. We find time to play mobile games, and we find time to scroll. Surely we can find 10 minutes for our own future, right?
Absolutely, John. And your English skills are a huge part of that future. English is not just a boring school subject that you need to pass a test. English is a magical door that you are slowly building with your own hands every morning.
Yes, and there is also this common false idea that only talented people or genius kids can become truly good at speaking English fluently.
Oh, I hate that myth, John. If you listen to the real stories of fluent speakers, you see a clear, undeniable pattern. It is never about pure, raw talent.
Never, Sarah. It is always about discipline and a solid routine. The people who grow and become fluent are not always the smartest people in the classroom. Often, they are simply the ones who quietly show up for themselves again and again every single morning.
Yes, John. Maybe they failed their English exams in school when they were teenagers. Maybe their old teachers told them, you are simply not strong in foreign languages. But they decided to keep a small, private promise to themselves every morning. While other people are sleeping, they listen to an English story for 10 minutes. While others are mindlessly scrolling through pictures, they write 3 simple sentences. These small actions are like tiny drops of water falling on a hard rock. One drop does nothing, but over time, those drops can carve a hole through a solid rock.
That is why we always say small habits create big futures. Not in 1 week, not in 1 month, but in 1 year, in 5 years. Those tiny drops make you absolutely unstoppable. And why should you put all this effort into English anyway? Because English is a powerful key. It opens doors that you perhaps cannot even see clearly right now. It opens doors to better jobs, amazing travel experiences, international friendships, and incredible content from all over the globe.
Yes, John. Maybe for you, the goal is simply being able to open YouTube and understand your favorite vlogger or tech reviewer without reading the subtitles in your native language. Maybe it's being able to write a professional CV, or talking confidently to your child's international school teacher, or standing up and speaking clearly during a business meeting at work. English gives you that beautiful, calm feeling of, I can handle this situation. And that confidence gives you the courage to step into new rooms and start a new life.
In the morning is the absolute best time to build that key slowly, piece by piece. The world around you is completely quiet, and your future self is listening to your choices. So, if we put everything together that Sarah and I talked about today, the message is incredibly simple. Do not throw away your precious mornings.
Yes, mornings are not just getting ready for work time, John. They are building your future self time. Listen a little, speak a little, write a little, review a little. Even if each action is tiny, these small actions, when you repeat them, will make your days feel much more productive, your mind feel much more refreshed, and your heart feel much more energized.
And let's clarify, productive here doesn't mean you become a cold, robotic machine that works all the time. Productive simply means that at the very end of the day, when you lie down in your bed, you can smile, take a deep breath, and say to yourself, "Today I did something truly good for myself and my personal growth."
Exactly, John. And refreshed means your mind feels light, clean, and free from that heavy weight of guilt. Energized means you feel awake, alive, and ready to face the day with a smile. Your whole life won't change in one single morning, of course, but it will change completely if you start using many mornings in a new, intentional way. And John and I are genuinely so happy to sit with you in those mornings, in your kitchen, on your bus, or under your warm blanket, and be a small part of your daily English routine.
You know, Sarah, we used some really beautiful, strong words and phrases in our conversation today. Maybe we should slow down our speed now and walk through a few of them together, like a lovely, tiny word tour for our listeners.
Oh, yes! A calm, peaceful little word walk. No exams, no pressure, just a quiet moment to really feel the meaning and the texture of the words.
Exactly, Sarah. As you listen to this word tour, everyone, you can think deeply about which one of these words feels most useful for your own life and your own routine. Sarah, let's start with the very first phrase we highlighted. Set the tone for your day.
Yes, when we say a habit helps set the tone for your day, it means that those very first minutes of your morning decide the overall emotional feeling and mood of your entire day. It is like choosing the very first track in a music playlist. If the first song you play is frantic and stressful, the whole playlist feels noisy. But if the first song is soft, warm, and beautiful, suddenly the whole day feels much softer and calmer. Your entire mood changes for the better.
Exactly, Sarah. For most people in modern life, the very first song in their morning playlist is social media notifications or stressful work emails. That automatically sets a very anxious tone for the day. But if your first song is a 10-minute English podcast or a little bit of writing in your notebook, you set a completely different tone, more peaceful, more focused, and more powerful. You can use it in a sentence like this. Listening to the English Daily Podcast in the morning really helps set the tone for my day. Maybe you can think right now, what is the very first song in your morning playlist?
Beautiful question, John. Now, let's look at our second phrase, little by little. Little by little simply means slowly, step by step, gradually, not all at once. It is exactly like filling a large glass of water using tiny drops. One single drop looks like absolutely nothing. It seems useless. But if you keep adding drops consistently, one day you look down and the glass is completely full to the top.
I love that image, Sarah. Learning English is exactly the same process. One short podcast episode, one small written paragraph, one quick vocabulary review session. Maybe today you don't see a massive, magical change in your fluency, but when you look back after 6 months of daily practice, you suddenly think, wow, my English is completely different now. That incredible change happened little by little, not in one single night. You can use it in a sentence like this. Little by little, my speaking confidence is getting better because of my morning routine. So if you ever feel like your progress is slow, please remember, slow is completely okay, as long as you keep moving little by little.
Exactly, John. Slow and steady wins the race. Now let's review our next idiom. Small steps add up. This means that small, simple actions, when you repeat them many times over a long period, connect together to create something remarkably big. Picture a giant mountain. Each step you take is tiny, just a few centimeters, but all those tiny steps together eventually take you to the very top of the mountain. No single step was amazing or heroic, but they all added up.
Yes, Sarah. Maybe your small step tomorrow morning is just 5 minutes of active listening while you make your morning tea. Alone, it looks like a very small, unimportant thing, but think about the math. 5 minutes a day multiplied by 30 days in a month equals 150 minutes. That is more than 2.5 hours of extra English practice in just 1 month. You can use it in a sentence like this. Small steps add up. My daily 10 minutes of English are quietly transforming my confidence. So please, never laugh at your small steps. They are the secret forces quietly building your future.
So true, John. Now let's look at a beautiful phrase, a fresh start. A fresh start means a completely new beginning, a clean page in your book, a second chance. Even if yesterday was completely messy, lazy, or disorganized, today gives you another beautiful opportunity to try again. It is exactly like taking a dirty whiteboard and wiping it completely clean with a cloth. All the old writing, all the old mistakes go away, and you can now write something beautiful and new.
Yes! Maybe yesterday you didn't touch English at all because you were too busy or too lazy, and today you feel a bit guilty about it. But when the morning sun comes up, you can smile and say to yourself, okay, yesterday is gone. Today is a fresh start. I will just do 10 simple minutes right now. You can use it in a sentence like this. Today is a fresh start, so I will listen to English for 10 minutes with a happy heart. The morning is always kind, Sarah. It always gives us a fresh start, no matter what happened yesterday.
It really does, John. Now let's talk about the word intentional. Intentional means you do something on purpose, deliberately, with a clear choice and reason, not by accident or simple routine. You don't just follow your old automatic habits blindly, you actively choose your actions. Imagine two different mornings, everyone. In the first morning, your finger automatically travels to the social media app on your phone screen without your brain even thinking about it. That is autopilot. It is not intentional. But in the second morning, you stop your hand for just 1 second and say to yourself, no, today I choose to open my podcast app instead. That single second of conscious choice is you being truly intentional.
Exactly, Sarah. You are still using the exact same phone, you're still drinking the exact same coffee, and you're sitting in the exact same kitchen, but your internal choice is completely different. You can use it in a sentence like this. I was very intentional this morning. I chose an English lesson instead of scrolling through pictures. When you learn to be intentional with small daily things, massive changes slowly follow in your life.
Yes, John. Now let's talk about a word we used earlier, overwhelmed. Overwhelmed is that heavy feeling in your mind when there are simply too many things happening at the exact same time, and it feels too difficult to manage. It is exactly like your brain is a small wooden table, and everyone keeps walking by and putting heavy books on it. Work problems, family duties, language studies, unread messages, until the table starts to shake and the books fall everywhere. Many English learners feel deeply overwhelmed because they say, today I will study advanced grammar, learn 50 new vocabulary words, perfect my pronunciation, watch 3 long videos, and read an English novel. That kind of plan looks strong on paper, but it is just too heavy for your mind. And when a plan is too heavy, we usually end up doing absolutely nothing because we freeze.
So true, Sarah. You can use it in a sentence like this. I feel completely overwhelmed when I try to study too many difficult things in one single day. A small, kind, and simple morning routine can help you feel much less overwhelmed because the daily plan is light, easy, and gentle on your brain.
Exactly, John. Keep it light. Now, our next keyword is distracted. Distracted means you are completely unable to focus or pay attention to one thing because too many other things are pulling your mind in different directions. It is like trying to read a serious book while the television is very loud, music is playing in the background, and two people are talking to you at the same time. Your attention jumps around like a little nervous bird from one branch to another, never sitting still. In the morning, our smartphones can make us incredibly distracted. You open it for just 1 minute, and suddenly 15 minutes of your focus are stolen. You can use it in a sentence like this. I get very distracted in the morning when I look at social media before I open my English apps. A simple, quiet English routine first thing in the morning can protect your mind from starting your day in a scattered, distracted way.
That is a great point, Sarah. Now let's review the word realistic. Realistic means that something is genuinely possible, practical, and doable for you in real daily life. It perfectly matches your real energy levels, your real lifestyle, and your real daily schedule. A realistic plan is exactly like buying shoes in the perfect size for your feet. If the shoes are too big, you'll trip and fall. If they are too small, they will hurt your feet every step you take. The right size helps you walk comfortably every single day. Saying, I will study English for 3 hours every single morning before work is simply not realistic for most human beings who have families or jobs. But saying, I will give 10 or 15 quiet minutes to my English every morning is 100% realistic. You can actually do it today, tomorrow, and next week. You can use it in a sentence like this. Spending 10 minutes on English every morning is highly realistic for my busy schedule. Realistic plans are the only plans that you will actually keep for a long time.
Exactly, John. Consistency lives inside realistic plans. Now let's talk about the word consistent. Consistent doesn't mean you are a perfect machine who never has a bad day. Being consistent simply means that you do something again and again, regularly over time, even if that action is very small. Like we said with brushing your teeth. You don't brush for hours on Sunday and stop for the week. You do it briefly every single day. With English, being consistent means practicing for 10 minutes every weekday morning, instead of studying for 3 long hours once a month and then doing nothing for weeks. You can use it in a sentence like this. I am not perfect, but I am very consistent. I practice my English every morning from Monday to Friday without fail. Consistency is the magical force that turns little by little into true, deep life change.
Beautifully explained, Sarah. Now let's look at the word mindful. Mindful means you are fully awake, present, and conscious inside the moment, not just moving automatically. You are not only doing an action, you are also actively noticing how you are doing it and how you feel. Imagine drinking your morning coffee. A non-mindful way is sip the coffee, scroll through your phone, forget the taste, and rush out the door. A mindful way is take a sip, notice the warm temperature, appreciate the rich taste, listen carefully to the English conversation, and feel your body waking up with gratitude. A mindful morning routine is when you don't just run through your minutes like a crazy person. You stop for a short moment and say to yourself, this quiet time is special. It is for me, my mind, and my English growth. You can use it in a sentence like this. I want my morning routine to be more mindful, not just an automatic rush. Mindful doesn't mean perfect, everyone. It simply means being fully present in the moment.
I love that, John. Present, not perfect. Now let's look at the word productive. Productive means that your time did something genuinely good, useful, and valuable for you. You feel that your hours were spent in a meaningful way. It is exactly like planting a small, healthy seed in the soil. It is obviously not a giant forest yet, but it is definitely not nothing. It is a real, positive start. If you scroll through random pictures for 20 minutes in bed, you often feel completely empty, heavy, and unproductive afterward. But if you listen to an easy English conversation and write 3 simple sentences in your notebook, you feel much more productive, even if the whole process took only 10 minutes of your morning. You can use it in a sentence like this. I feel so much more productive when I start my day with English instead of just scrolling through my phone. Productive mornings make your entire day feel stronger and more successful.
Exactly, Sarah. It gives you a feeling of victory early in the day. Now, let's review the word refreshed. Refreshed is that wonderful feeling when you receive new, clean energy and your mind feels clear, light, and free from stress or clutter. It is exactly like opening a large window in a hot, stuffy room and feeling a wave of cool, fresh air come inside. The room is the exact same room, but the internal feeling is completely different. A short writing or listening time in English can make your brain feel incredibly refreshed, like your mind just had a beautiful, clean shower. You can use it in a sentence like this. After I write a few simple sentences in my English journal, my mind feels completely refreshed and calm. You don't have to wait for a long summer vacation to feel refreshed, everyone. Sometimes 10 quiet, intentional minutes in the morning can do it perfectly.
Yes, John. And our final word for today's tour is energized. Energized means you feel full of positive energy, awake, alive, and ready to take action in the world. It doesn't mean you are 100% perfect or jumping around with excitement. It just means you feel awake and strong inside. It is exactly like when your phone battery goes from a dangerous 10% red line up to a safe 60% green line. The battery is not completely full yet, but you look at it and say, okay, now my phone can easily do things without dying. A small morning English routine can make you feel exactly like that. Not dying at 10%, but energized and ready to face your busy day with confidence. You can use it in a sentence like this. My small morning English routine makes me feel so much more energized for the day ahead. Energized mornings don't have to be loud or crazy, everyone. They can be very calm, quiet, but incredibly strong inside your heart.
Wow, what an absolutely incredible selection of words and phrases for today's word tour, Sarah. Let's remind our listeners of them. Set the tone for your day. Little by little. Small steps add up. A fresh start. Intentional. Overwhelmed. Distracted. Realistic. Consistent. Mindful. Productive. Refreshed. And energized. If you didn't catch every single meaning or sentence on the first listen, please do not worry at all. You can easily rewind this audio right now and listen to this word tour section again, slowly, calmly, and practicing your pronunciation in your kitchen or under your blanket.
Yes, absolutely. Take your time. And now, dear lovely listeners of the English Daily Podcast, it is time for your absolute favorite part of the entire episode. It is time for our daily comment challenge. We want you to take immediate, bold action right now to lock these words inside your long-term memory.
Yes, do not just sit there and listen to John and Sara passively. Active production is the real secret key that unlocks fluency. Send your English brain to our small, friendly morning gym right now by typing a short comment below this video. We want you to answer this question today. Which one word or phrase from our word tour today did you like the most? And can you make just one simple, honest sentence using it?
Be brave, everyone. Open the comments section below, type your sentence, and hit send. Please do not worry about making grammar mistakes or spelling errors. Our comment section is a completely safe, warm, and beautiful international community where thousands of English learners from different countries read, support, smile, and learn from each other's examples every single day. Your single comment might be the exact thing that inspires another student who is feeling overwhelmed or discouraged with their studies today.
That is so true, Sarah. Writing down your thoughts using your own hands helps fix the English language deep inside your brain's memory center. It turns you from a silent, passive listener into an active, confident creator of the language.
Exactly, John. And before we say our final goodbyes to everyone on this beautiful morning, we want to leave you with one last encouraging thought to carry in your heart today. Learning a language is a beautiful journey. It is a steady marathon, not a fast, stressful sprint. You do not need to study until your head hurts, and you do not need to be absolutely perfect every single day. You just need to show up for yourself and use your time just a little bit better each morning.
Yes, even 10 short, focused, and happy minutes of listening to English while you make your coffee or write in your notebook can completely transform your speaking skills, your listening understanding, and your internal confidence over time. Consistency is the true magic formula for fluency, and Sarah and I know without a single doubt in our hearts that you have the power to do this.
We believe in you completely. Thank you so much for choosing to spend this valuable, quiet morning time with us today on the English Daily Podcast. You did not waste these minutes. You invested them perfectly in your own education, your own future career, and your own personal growth. We are incredibly proud of you and your dedication.
Yes, we are so proud of you. I've been your host, John.
And I've been Sarah. Remember to use your mornings well. Stay consistent, protect your hidden minutes, be kind to your mind, and we will see you in the very next episode of the English Daily Podcast. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a productive day.
Bye-bye, everyone. Take care of yourselves and keep practicing. Your progress does not have to end here. To continue advancing your English-speaking confidence and expanding your daily conversation vocabulary right now, simply click on the next video that appears on your screen, or explore the special playlists we have thoughtfully created for your success. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the English Daily Podcast, and click that notification bell so you never ever miss a daily lesson with John and Sarah. Be intentional with your time, enjoy your fresh start, and we will see you in the very next video.